encountered a completely corrupted The gang encountered a completely corrupted Zerf, spreading the crystal curse to a new community. A brawl swiftly broke out between the ragey rogue and the deranged dwarf, drawing in the rest of the team. At the end, battered, bruised, but alive, the gang cleansed Zerf of his corruption, an important first step to fixing the mess that they made. What's next in store for our intrepid protagonists? Find out in this week's episode of the Chaotic Neutral Podcast. I am your Dungeon Master, Caleb, and I am joined tonight by David.
Hi, I play Kai.
And Shane.
Bert's feeling bitter enough to be up for this.
And Amy.
What do you mean by mess we created?
And finally, Will.
Bayard says welcomes you.
You remind me of I don't know if you've seen it, but when D&D was coming out with 4th edition, they did a bunch of cartoons to promote it. And one of them was the Mind Flayer interviewing a bunch of people as to whether or not he was going to eat their brains or turn them into a thrall. And one of the people in his office is this dwarf who's like, so I looked to the left, looked to the right, then raised up the giant's hairy arm and said, let's get to business. And like later on, he's like, and then she told me, don't worry, I got a thing for hirsute dwarves. And that's when the story gets real good. But that's what that voice reminded me of, Will.
I will emulate that as best I can.
So Amy, you were complaining about my characterization of what's going on with the Crystal Curse?
That we what? I'm sorry. I didn't do this. Bert did this.
This can't be all pinned on me. All right, this is a group effort. This whole thing.
This is all you.
No, this. You tied up the son of a bitch, and then he got away.
Who picked it up and tasted it?
Who let the guy get back to the
Who
city?
tasted it? Who does that?
I don't. I wear a rubber. It wouldn't have got anywhere besides me.
Y'all sound like you need a drink.
If you're gonna kidnap, do it right.
So, so for the audience who has probably not picked up with the story for as long as we have, the gang sort of driven out of their city of Karsht, which was getting overrun by the Crystal Curse, wandered through the desert. They encountered this temple complex, long abandoned in the middle of nowhere. They were chased by a mummy through a maze. They encountered a dwarf, the last survivor of his expedition to those ruins, named Bayard Ironmug. And he signed on with them and helped them sort of cleanse this temple. And after they did so, the spirit of the sort of the high priest of the temple told them that he had this device, this large sort of magical engine that, if powered up, could probably cleanse the Crystal Curse. In order to do that, bits of it that had been looted throughout the millennia would need to be recovered and returned to it. He described them as a set of spherical objects, and
I do not remember that.
it was a long time ago. But yeah, he described them as a set of spherical objects that each sort of had their own innate power, so that they would, they were probably picked up by spellcasters who were using them as powerful spell foci. And you guys had determined that the city of Bezos, considered one of the greatest cities on this plate, has a famed library within it. And if you guys could gain access to those archives, you might be able to get some leads on tracking down these spheres. Who is it?
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, my phone's updating for some reason.
So we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quiet the whole time.
I lost my train of thought, you son of a bitch.
Will!
What do you want?
Shane, are you Winona Ryder in the first season of Stranger Things?
Yeah.
She's as bad as
It's like the one time you're going to be able to use that in your entire life.
I
isn't it?
know. But like
Good on you.
someone did a supercut of all the times. Is it Rick in Walking Dead yells "Coral, Coral"? Like, it seems like that's all he does.
I love those memes where he's he's bending over crying, telling Carl those terrible jokes about his dead mom, getting closer and closer to him.
Anyway, so the gang set out to make their way to this grand city of Bezos. In order to get there, they needed to pass through. The quickest way is across the sea, and there's a port just a few days away from where they were, where they could grab a boat and sail to the city. When they got to the port, it was completely abandoned. It was covered in this. It was not covered. It was enclosed in this sort of semicircular magical barrier. And once they passed through it, they encountered two, what I like to call snatcher robots, sent by Glyph to try to retrieve the party. And if you don't know who Glyph is, revisit the first season. Basically, he works for whoever constructed this giant ring that they're on in space. And he wants to take out the party's brains and kind of dissect them, chop them up to figure out why they were able to resist the influence of the horrible creature that they defeated at the end of the first season. And they, probably justly so, object to having their brains removed and dissected.
I was on the fence. I was curious to see how is this procedure going to go.
But so they defeated these other Snatcher robots, and when they got into the town square, they found several other Snatcher robots that had been completely covered over in the Crystal Curse, and Zerf was working on corrupting another one. And a fight broke out, and
As it so often does.
it was a pretty close fight, but at the end, Zerf lay unconscious but stable, and you guys carried out the exhausting ritual of cleansing him of that crystal corruption. So
And
that's where we left off. He's still unconscious.
Oh, that's right. The last one we did was Halloween.
Yeah.
It's like, but there was other stuff. There was like,
Yeah, no, that was a dream sequence.
yeah, I'm starting to remember that now.
That was all in the
I don't
head
remember
of
any of it. I was
that
way
was
too-
all in the head of an autistic kid staring at a snow globe.
All I remember is sandwiches.
Those goddamn sandwiches.
Sorry, Gil. I have to do it.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. It doesn't matter what I do. You
He's been
It's
playing with us for years.
It's one dungeon master against 4 brains who are going to come up with a way of interpreting it into making a joke. That's why we do a podcast.
Okay.
Because everybody should hear this.
Mm-hmm. Just like everyone should hear your guys' material about Boner Island.
Oh god. It wasn't even so much material. It was just like shouting Boner Island over each other for like 10 minutes.
Sorry,
Where are
folks.
we
That's
going to go? Boner Island! Let's go to Boner Island!
That's a reference to a game that several of us play in the meat space, and there's an island that's supposedly just covered in the bones of all these different creatures, and nothing else grows there, and it's called the Marrow Isle. And immediately someone went, "I wonder why it's not called the Boner Isle." So that's where that comes from. So what do you guys do?
Only one thing grows on Boner Island.
Well, we got to go find this a boat, right? We got where's Zerf? Is he? We need to carry him.
Probably you're
Going
probably gonna need
Do I
to
need to lay
transport him
in?
somehow.
Do I need to stabilize him or heal him in any way?
He's stabilized, and
Dragon
cleansed, and your spells are gone. Like you,
that's right,
and
we're-
anyone who has spells completely exhausted their spells, feeding it into this ritual.
Haha.
All right. Well, I need to get to a bar. I need to refill my my tankards.
Your divine
and
tank.
We can go and find a ship.
A pint of your finest divinity, sir.
I'll carry your dwarf friend here. He is your friend, right?
We're gonna need a U-Haul to carry Surf. I mean, he's got like 800 pounds of junk in his boot, doesn't he?
I'm
Actually, I
dragging
showed that Bayard was unconscious too. No, Bayard's at 1 hit point because he had a good berry. Kai
Oh, that's
dropped
right.
it.
Yeah.
Kai dropped good berries in his and Zerf's mouths to keep the fight going.
I was at 11. Bayard's at 11.
Bears. Oh,
I
wow.
healed and got some healing, I think, at some point.
I remember you getting some Fremunda fruit.
I do
yeah.
remember going down, though. I remember that now.
That's where you got the good berry.
That sucked.
Yeah. You had to go down on Kai to get some good. Sorry.
But just to my left here, I noticed there's a little cart.
Those
a
are
shop stall.
those are stalls.
Oh, there's no wheels on them?
No.
They have to be ruined. I mean, we.
Oh yeah, and they're
We did
they're
stuff.
flinders between, like there were spells going off. There was a spirit guardian whirling around. This marketplace looks like a full-on battlefield. There are owlbear tracks everywhere where Fozzie
All right, well,
was
let's
trampling
just-
around.
Like,
We can strap a couple of these pieces together with some rope and drag your friend's ass on. Just
You-
put him on top of it and drag it like a medical cart thing.
I mean, you could probably
right.
just tie him to Fozzie's back.
And drag him. Just like. a
I was
good
thinking
old-fashioned
like
dwarf drag.
you drape him over Fozzie's back and use ropes to sort of tie him to the harness.
And
Just-
if Kiki's not okay with that, we can lasso him under the arms and tie it to Fozzie's saddle and then just let him drag.
Why is Fozzie doing all the work?
Because Fozzie's a giant owl bear.
Fozzie loves her.
He can carry. He does
No,
too.
he.
No, he does. He and Zerf are buddies. That was one of the early signs of tension between Kiki and Zerf was that Kiki didn't
Yeah.
like how much Fozzie and
Who's
Zerf liked
number
each
one
other.
parent?
Because Zerf, as I recall, Lee Howe's the one that made the handle animal check to tame Fozzie.
Oh, that competition's miles away. So now it's Zerv.
Yeah. Fozzie likes all you guys.
He does not.
In varying degrees, but yeah.
Amy, Fozzie is my player character. Thank you.
Bayard walks over to Fozzie and gently strokes the tuft of his fur behind his head and offers him a drink.
Are you trained in handle animal?
You want a little beer, buddy?
I am not.
Roll me a persuasion at disadvantage.
A persuasion at disadvantage.
Because
like
I
this.
feel like that's how Bayard would go about this. Is not trying to handle an animal like, you're just a weird looking fella, have a drink.
14.
I don't even know what.
What? I'm like one shy, aren't I?
I'm not even sure how to adjudicate this.
I spill some beer on the floor, and he smacks me to the ground, and then he laps it up.
He nuzzles you and sticks his beak in the tankard, and sort of hoots gladly.
There you go, buddy.
And
You earned it.
He's looking a little wobbly, but not super wobbly.
so as these guys were talking, I dragged Zerf by the hair over to his
Okay.
and tie his hair around the harness on Fozzie.
I mean, it's got to be like rope at this point.
I'm more thinking about what that's going to do to Zerf's neck when Fozzie breaks into a gallop.
Dwarves don't have necks.
That's true. We're connected right to the shoulder.
Yeah, it's just like skull, shoulder blades. That's it.
I'm worried
I
about
wanna
what it's
look
going to do
left-
to Zerf's spine.
When I want to look left, I turn my whole waist.
Gotta pivot on my heels.
The Nosferatu turn where the shoulders go, and then the head, and then the eyes. So, like, it's on you
All right,
guys.
well,
Like,
it's-
this whole city seems to be completely abandoned.
Well, I say we definitely. Oh, we should probably look up shops. Maybe we can steal some items. I mean, for the good of the adventure.
What's your alignment?
Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah.
chaotic good.
Okay.
But as I believe, as an adventuring party, we're working for the good of all mankind.
Well, no, like
Humanoid kind.
the chaotic's all I was looking for, really.
All right. Well, I believe we still need to loot to make sure that we can survive in the next room. And if this place is abandoned, well, then so be it.
I mean, that's standard operating procedure, right? Nobody around, you take the stuff.
Right. Who else is going to use it?
Yeah.
So I say we find like an alchemist shop. Maybe we can
I say we just get a whole bunch of carts together and just, take everything. And then we become like a caravan of hobos.
That would be awesome. Like a gypsy party with just like 3 wagons attached. Are there any animals lying around we can attach to?
No.
All right.
I don't even
Fozzie.
need this stuff, but I'm taking it.
You and me, Fozzie. We'll hook up to the 3 carts. We'll pull. I'll leave a keg of beer behind me so you can drink while we walk.
Roll me an insight at disadvantage.
Man.
Anybody or just him?
Just Bayard.
Okay.
Insight at disadvantage. Ooh, I'm proficient in that. We're looking at 19.
Okay. Fozzie doesn't seem too thrilled with your idea.
All right. I'll pull myself.
Doesn't like that, huh?
I can do it.
Fozzie's okay with 1 cart. He feels like 3 carts is a bit excessive.
You take the first, I'll take the second 2.
If only we had a Zerf.
You can pile it all on Zerf.
He would carry Yeah. That somehow makes sense. You just put it all on the dwarf, and then he still only weighs, 200 pounds? He's like a bag of holding.
They don't become encumbered by weight.
All right. Well, we're wasting too much time here. I'm gonna go look for a tavern.
All right.
Fill my flask. Or my cast.
This isn't
as
a
it-
big city, right?
It's like a boomtown.
Okay.
It's not huge, but it's a full on like settlement. So actually, as it so happens, on this market square, you happen to find a tavern named the Drunken Mermaid.
Ooh. Any ladies inside?
No, there is no one inside.
I find my way to the ale, and I fill my flask as well as my belly,
Okay.
and maybe some food. I'd like to take a time to, recuperate from our wounds.
The food you find is kind of stale. Looks like it's been sort of sitting out for a few days. So
I dunk it in the ale and eat it anyways.
okay.
Attaboy. Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Exactly.
What about everyone else?
I want to search. I don't know, shops that would catch my fancy, alchemy, or I don't know, bookstores, or like a Tuesday morning. Maybe they got one of those. I like wicker chairs and incense holders.
So this place, I don't know if I've made this clear previously. This is a city that is sort of it's like an import-export city. So they're bringing in manufactured goods from like Bezos and the other great cities to sell to the barbarians on the northern steppes, and in return they're getting back raw goods. They're getting back furs and animals and ore, because there are some mines up there. And so the city itself doesn't really do a lot of its own manufacturing. They're buyers and sellers, and that's how everyone here has sort of made their fortune. So
I don't know. I go into a furrier, and then I just I load up on furs, and I come out and I start talking like the French Canadian trapper.
okay, you find
Come out looking like a Sasquatch.
we'll say that you go into a specialist in fox pelts.
towards the docks.
Yeah, I'll take care of that in a second, David.
I was just letting them know.
Oh, okay. So Bert, you find 78 fox pelts that are like, ready for sale.
It's gonna keep me cockles warm. How about I mean, is there like there's like not even like an apothecary for people or a
There is
healer in town?
There is. Well, they have temples. And you think that the temples took care of most of the healing with divine magic?
I'm gonna do that then. Oh wait, with divine magic. Crap. Never mind. I don't know anything about that, and I can't access it.
Would the temple still have like antitoxins or anything like that?
Well, no, because they just use spells.
They just use spells.
Yeah,
No scrolls or books to learn some new spells.
that's not how divine magic works. Divine magic is a direct channeling of
To a
like,
god,
yeah,
which I know a lot about being a cleric.
yes. So
Sometimes.
Kai,
Depends on how much you drink.
there are a whole lot of boats.
I start to forget as
Depending on how small you want to go, like you could theoretically get go up to one of the boats and get one of their skiffs, one of the big ships and get a skiff. If that's for the smallest possible. There are even like a few little canoes for rowing out into the harbor and doing your day's fishing.
It's gotta fit Fozzie, so.
Okay. So yeah, you do find a few like small fishing boats that would fit Fozzie.
Alright. I come back all proud.
Okay.
I found a boat.
And what's Kiki up to?
Stealing.
Okay. What is she stealing?
Is it stealing though?
Borrowing?
Shh.
Let her
pretend. Let her pretend.
Reappropriating.
Reappropriating.
There you go, liberating.
Whatever I can
Yes.
find.
But like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for raw materials or just cash or?
Sellable goods.
Okay.
Furs and ore.
So Bert's taking care of furs. You could probably find an assayer's shop and get ore, or you could find an apothecary wholesale that sells raw alchemical components.
That sounds fine.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go steal knickknacks.
Okay.
We're gonna reopen Kiki and Friends, aren't we?
I need to decorate the boat. I don't know.
We agree, so you do that. So yeah, you find. I'm not gonna bother going with any granularity of exactly what you lift, because Kiki knows about poisons, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So roll me a, we'll say survival or nature, whichever's higher for you.
Nature.
A roll of nature.
3. 7.
Okay. You're pretty sure that you found some high quality stuff, and you fill your bags with it. You think that you've grabbed at least 150 gold worth of herbs.
Swell.
You've actually grabbed 33 gold worth of herbs.
Well.
Herbs.
You're gonna sell them like they're worth 150 though, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Better quality than you're used to.
I got a question then.
Yeah.
I'd like to stumble over to the temple.
Okay.
Do they have a flask of holy water, or at least holy water on hand? Judging by the mummy we ran into, holy water might come in handy.
Yeah, but he was well on out in the desert. I don't know if that's something they just... Because it expires, I think.
Can
Does
you
it?
bless water though? Since you're a priest,
I
right?
assume so, but if it's already there and less work for me, because I like not getting rid of the ale. I'm not going to bless that and dump it on people.
I'm sorry, felines. I need.
Well, maybe you could just bless it and then drink it in their honor, and maybe that'll do the same thing. I don't know. I don't know how your god works.
I don't know either. I know the more I drink, the more they listen to me, or I listen to them.
The more they talk to me.
Holy water is on 151, by the way, in the player's book.
Yeah, I'm there.
Man, I don't know why my god only listens to me when I'm loaded.
Oh, I don't know. That's what happens when you're the god of the hops.
So it doesn't expire, but it is kind of costly to make.
So if they have some on hand, it would be great to just take it.
So
Wait, what goes into holy water production? You don't just like cross your hands over it and say some Latin stuff and then it's good?
no,
Aw.
no, that's because this
That's
holy water
sharp.
actually does radiant damage to specific types of people.
It does stuff? I thought it was
Yeah.
just flavor.
No, holy water. You can splash the contents onto a creature within 5 feet of you, or throw it up to 20 feet. You make a ranged attack against a target creature. If the target's a fiend or undead, it takes 2d6 radiant damage. Cleric or paladin may create holy water by performing a special ritual. It takes 1 hour to perform, uses 25 gold worth of powdered silver, and requires the caster to expend a first level spell slot.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. But if I can get it on hand, that'd be great. Maybe I can lift a holy symbol too.
So yeah, you can definitely go to your temple and get a holy symbol. No problem. You can even get one of them nice gold-plated ones.
What's this church involved in, or should I just make that up?
That's up to you.
It's the church of the sea. Whatever their god of the sea, since they're merchants.
Okay.
Juicidin?
I can't think of one.
Sorry.
Oh, that's a stinker. Oh, it caused me physical pain. Anyways,
It is Mercury, god of merchants.
okay.
Oh.
Roll me a investigation.
At disadvantage or at full?
Oh, this is normal
Okay.
because you're not trying to interpret the gestures of an owl bear.
All right. So at full investigation, we're looking at 9.
Okay. Shane, high or low?
Oh, low.
You are not able to find any holy water prepared.
Ugh, that stinks.
Sorry.
All right.
That's okay. I take a small holy symbol in the shape of a triton.
It's in the shape of a fishman?
I thought he said trident, like the
Trident.
Oh, I heard Triton. Okay, all right.
yeah, big,
Because I'm thinking like it looks like the picture you have of your avatar.
the sea. some
It
kind
looks like
of
this guy.
horrible fish boy.
That is a triton. That's my son's triton for the D&D game that he never actually played.
Oh, that's okay. That's not the one. That's not Leroy.
That's not Leroy. no.
Or Leroy.
or Leroy.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys. Trying to steal my devil all the time. Why are they so curious? Stupid fish people.
Okay. So Kiki has done her stealing. Kiki has done her locally sourced acquisition. Bert has done his locally sourced acquisition. Bayard has done his locally sourced acquisition times 2, and Kai has found a boat, also locally sourced. Kai seems really proud of himself.
Well, yeah, he got the most awesome piece out of all of us. I mean,
Well done, lad. Good job. Guess
I
it's
wasn't
time
even thinking
to
about
set
getting a
sail.
boat. It was just.
I assumed we would do this after we relinquished some few items from this town. Procured some ingredients or such.
Yeah. Locally sourced. Sounds like we're hunting for mushrooms in the Oregon forest.
All right, so are we taking off?
That's up to you guys.
Do we know how to set sail?
I don't know how to do it.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you need to do that?
I meant, of course I know how to set sail.
A crew and the knowledge to do it.
What's the knowledge?
Ship handling, is that the skill?
Well, there's no skill for it specifically.
I thought there was like a ship. What the hell is
If
that?
you have a skill in transportation, what is it?
Yeah, there's like there are different types of transportation that you can have skill in. Like,
But I
there's
think
a-
in general, like you just get that. What is it?
But there's not a skill on the character sheet for transportation.
no, but it's in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like if you look up
Nobody can
sailor,
drive a boat, people.
Sailor,
I can act
proficiency,
like a sailor.
navigator's tools,
vehicles. It's just vehicles.
Vehicles,
Yeah,
parentheses,
this is
water
parentheses
vehicles.
water.
Tool proficiencies. That's what it's.
Oh.
I
Okay.
am not proficient in vehicles
I
at
can
all.
act like a sailor.
You can. Oh, that's right. You can perform.
Does that do the same thing?
Scuttle the crow's
Yeah, I
nest.
just start shouting out,
Just nautical shit at
Yes.
random.
aft!
As the rest of us are just like punching
Aft
the
to
boat. and-
starboard now.
Set sail!
You scurvy dogs.
Yo ho, yo ho! Where's the rum gone?
Is it rum on the boat?
Why is there no rum?
So basically, we don't have a crew. None of us actually know how to sail this thing.
Yeah,
Do we just
Kai
push
is
it in the water and hope for the best?
Proud that he got a boat.
Even if we did know, we'd still need a crew to do everything.
Well, like a little fishing boat like Kai found doesn't require that much of
Oh.
a crew.
dude, I'm
I-
thinking like a merchant clipper. All right, okay.
Yeah,
On
like,
one of
you
my
guys-
drunk benders,
can you guys-
I had a vision.
Can you guys see the Dow that I just put up?
I'm
Yes.
not even there. Where are you?
I see it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, further down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I totally had this vision. A world covered in water and half fish man. He jumped around on the boat and moved ropes.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Exactly.
I
Drinking his own pee. That. Yeah. I know. What you're talking about.
yeah. Tomatoes are important.
They are.
I got you guys to follow
Curbs
me,
scurvy.
and you see the big boat, and then right behind it is the little dinghy.
That's our boat. Oh, good job, bud. Good job.
Yeah, it's great work.
I could have sworn I had. There it is. Okay. So.
Oh shit. Does anyone know how to use navigators?
I call shenanigans on that. That Dow does not require a crew of 20 to operate.
20 people for a boat like that?
There's two
Just
people on that boat.
in the DMG, it has airborne and waterborne vehicles, sailing ship, crew of 20, minimum
I don't think
required.
20 people can get on that boat.
That's I know. I'm gonna say that you guys can try it.
Sweet. I start untying ropes.
We're gonna get lost and die out there. No, we're not.
I got
Everything will be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
I got the rudder.
Yeah.
I methodically untie ropes until a sail falls.
Jesus.
It happens
Sweet.
at some point.
I'm gonna start pulling
is-
chains. And
Now,
see if I
does
can
the
get-
rope still seem tied so that the sail doesn't just fly up, or does it seem like it's loose at the bottom?
Well, I'm not really interested in playing this game. I was gonna abstract your guys' attempts to
Awesome.
sail.
Oh, well, let's go for that then. Let's do that. I'd rather do that.
Right now I'm trying to see if I can find. Why does the fucking player's handbook not have? I'm not looking in the player's handbook. That's why it doesn't have a character sheet in it. Okay. Okay. So, what I'm gonna need is one person's gonna be doing the ropes, and that's gonna be sleight of hand checks. One person's gonna be doing the navigation, and that's gonna be nature or survival checks. And then someone's going to handle the steering, which is just going to be a straight up intelligence check. So right now you guys need to decide who's operating what part of the crew of the ship.
I got sleight of hand. I'm insane with whatever the sleight of hand was.
I have a +3 on intelligence.
So Kiki's good with her hands, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she
Bert
is.
knows.
You know what? She only needs one.
And everything seems bigger in her hand, so that's all.
And I bet it was huge.
I took the rudder, so
Okay, so Kai's doing the rudder to steer, so that's intelligence check. Kiki's doing sleight of hand to re-rig the sail as it needs to do. And so we need someone who's going to do the nature or survival checks to sort of take over the captaincy and determine what's going to happen. Like what needs to happen in order to get you guys to your destination. And that's going to be the survival or nature checks.
Okay, I have a +4 to wisdom, but I'm not proficient in survival, so I don't know what Bert's got.
Well, I can't give you double disadvantage on this because you would already have disadvantage. Because you don't... Basically, all of you are going to be at disadvantage on these checks since you don't really know what you're doing.
Can I use my divine intervention and speak to my god and get them to direct us?
That's a good idea. Let me see what that does.
I know, because I have no other use for this thing, but, my god, I'm assuming, can see where the hell we're going. I got to roll percentiles, is what it says.
Is that...
If I look...
That's not a spell.
No, it's part of just my... it's called Divine Intervention, so it's a part of my
Is it a
my
cleric
life
thing?
domain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a part of my channel divinity, I believe.
Okay.
Preserve life. I think it's
There
cleric
it is.
straight up.
10th level.
Yeah. So I can call on my
Okay.
deity to intervene on my behalf when my need is great. Imploring my deity's aid requires me to use an action. Describe the assistance I seek.
Yeah,
and
I'm
roll
reading it
percentile.
right now.
Okay.
Go and roll me percentiles.
Come on, big numbers.
What level are you guys?
11?
Okay.
45.
All right. So
I'm asking for help to guide us through this to our next destination. Bezos.
Your deity is silent.
Oh, you sons of bitch. I'm not drunk enough.
That said, I think Bless will probably help you out here. I think it's Bless.
Yeah,
No,
Bless
that's attack and
is,
saving roll. There is one that's
Shane.
gives me advantage on
Yeah.
wisdom. Beacon of Hope gives me advantage on wisdom.
Bert, where's your puff owl?
The puff owl, I was thinking about, he might be able to help see a little bit ahead of us, like
Guidance, perhaps. Oh,
That
yeah,
was-
there's
guidance
I was
is
just
probably the
gonna-
one I'm thinking of.
I was going to consult my.
that
my,
gives you
book.
D4 on ability checks for guidance.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Because you could hit up someone with guidance, and that D4 would count to both their low roll and their high roll.
So if I did Beacon of Hope, that gives advantage on wisdom,
Okay.
and then did guidance, which gives them an extra D4 on any ability check. I can give him a D4 and advantage.
Let me just look at.
They're both actions, but I assume I can do one action after another. And
So bacon is concentration.
you did say bacon, right?
Yeah, it's a joke from another thing that
Okay.
is Bacon of Hope. And guidance is also concentration, so you can only have one up at a time.
Oh, okay. All right. So, would you rather have guidance or guidance will give you an extra D4? Beacon of Hope will give you advantage.
Well,
Bert,
yeah. Who is Bert doing the
can I do
navigation
it
check?
himself? I don't know. What was your wisdom? I gotta imagine your wisdom's high, being a.
My wisdom is sort of high, but the whole thing about this is this character's charisma. So
Oh, my wisdom
Which one
is
would be a
might be the highest. My wisdom is a 19, so I got a +4 in there because I gotta use.
that's much higher than mine. Yeah.
And so the only thing to check then is, do I get to use that stuff on myself?
Can you?
Yeah, guidance you can.
Guidance, I can't.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'll use guidance on myself and try to figure this out, since my god is useless.
Okay.
Ooh, don't
So-
say that out loud.
Yeah,
so,
whatever.
So Bayard.
Can't hear me. I'm not drunk enough.
So let's go. Let's have Kiki do her sleight of hand to sort of get you guys untied from the dock and get on out of the harbor.
16 on the die plus 12.
You're at disadvantage. Okay.
13 plus 12.
So Kiki has some experience in tying things up and knowing what ropes go where.
Not.
So she has no trouble figuring out what rope she needs to untie and where and which one she needs to retie to get you guys free from the dock and with the sail oriented so that you guys are being pulled away from the dock. So you guys make it out of the harbor just fine because it's not too difficult to figure out how to handle the rudder to steer you guys, and you're not really in a situation where you need to make navigation checks yet. Once you're clear of the harbor, now we need Will to pick a heading, or Bayard to pick a heading. So he's going to roll either nature or survivals, whichever's higher, at
Still
disadvantage.
at disadvantage?
Yep.
All right. Damn, because that was a good roll. Add my extra. All right, so 14.
All right. So he kind of looks at the land around. You guys know that Bezos is vaguely somewhere off in the southwest from where you are. So he uses the angle of the sun against the arc of the ring above your heads, and sort of says it's that way. So now we need Kai to make his intelligence check and Kiki to make another sleight of hand to get the rudder and the sails pointing in that direction.
20 natural.
You're at disadvantage.
I heard. Well, 24.
Okay. I forgot Kai does everything all at once. No. Okay. Okay. You guys are underway. How do you approach this? Do you try to strike straight off across the sea, or are you going to try to follow the coast?
Go straight across the street.
Go get lost.
Okay. So you guys are underway, and you're actually making really good speed. The wind is at your back. You don't have to monkey with the sail too much. You seem to have found your way into a sort of a trade wind almost, and pretty soon you can't see land in any direction.
Get lost.
Will, go ahead and give me a navigation check, and David,
Okay.
David, we're going to have you do another rudder check.
I am going to cast guidance on myself again, holding my holy symbol. I'm still doing this at right?
Yep.
Disadvantage?
Yep.
Negative, natural 1.
Okay.
Ouch.
A 3.
Okay.
Doesn't matter that I added D4 to a natural 1, right?
Correct. So Will, you guys are right. You're late into course. You don't need to make any more navigation checks because David's
where I'm going.
David's holding that rudder straight, and you guys have been honed in on this heading without any variation for the last few hours, and so you're going. Now let's see what happens with the weather.
I can't reach my deity out here. They're land-based.
Can I do a wisdom and see if I believe him?
Sure. You're at disadvantage as well.
Okay. I believe him.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, you guys. This sailing thing isn't too hard. You guys got this.
Guess I'll just sit up my lawn chair and bring out my big floppy hat. Have a little bit of that holy ale.
That floppy hat.
Yeah.
Wondering if
Pull on my Bermuda shorts and flip flops and just enjoy the sun.
That does. So, what do you guys do to pass the time on this boat trip?
I drink and I search for rum.
These sailors seem to be teetotalers.
Oh, freaking.
What?
That means they don't drink.
How do they sail?
Apparently better than you. You don't know that yet.
Yeah. Efficiently.
is there a fishing pole?
There are nets and poles.
I cast one off the side.
All right.
I think I might consult my book.
Okay. What are you asking your book?
See, I wouldn't think that we were on the wrong track. I have faith in these guys because they're carrying themselves like they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You have faith in me.
Yeah, I do.
Thank
Because I mean, you're so laid back. You're just fishing right now. Yeah, he knows where he's going. Everybody knows where he's going. Whenever we have a problem, you set us on the right course. So I have no trouble with believing you. As flighty as you are. I'm like, yeah, we know where we're going. I want to know.
He found this sweet boat all on his own, didn't he?
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. The man is a master. What? Oh gosh, what awaits us in Bezos? I guess.
Okay.
Is there anything? Is there any clue to I don't know, in Bezos that will actually set us on this path of destroying this corruption?
Okay. Roll me a charisma check.
Charisma 21.
Okay. So Bert heads on off to the prow of the ship, sort of underneath where the sail is, kind of tucked away in the corner, away from the spray of the sea, and pulls out the book that you guys haven't seen him pull out in a long time, and he hunches over it for a little bit, sort of muttering to himself and just seeming lost to the world around him. And after about an hour of this, he seems to have like some sort of seizure where his whole body tenses up and his eyes go so that the pupil seems to cover the whole eye. And he speaks in some unearthly tongue full of sibilance and guttural sounds. And Bert, you feel your vision sort of zoom across the sea. It actually doesn't follow the direction your boat is going. It seems to veer off to the right a bit, and it reaches this massive city that seems both ancient and well kept, with large gardens and just more greenery than you've seen on this plate. But you also feel like there's some sort of slithering black vine that seems to be sort of covering everything in the city. And you also see filaments, almost like spider webs, stretching off into the distance. But they also seem frayed and loose, as if the web has kind of fallen to pieces recently.
I remember that now.
And soaring overhead is... you see a silhouette of a dragon in full flight, and within the city, you see these vines start to grow tendrils and creatures sort of crawling out from within them. And then you wake up.
Oh, that's so for me. Mm. Oh, by the way, we're off course.
No, we're not. He says we're on the right course.
Nah, man, I was just there.
No. I'm pretty sure it's that way.
Just adjust your course to the right. What is that? I don't know.
Starboard.
This one. Yeah, starboard. Pull it over a bit.
Okay, roll me... Since he's brought it up, roll me a wisdom at disadvantage.
Is this me or is this?
This is Bayard.
Okay.
You know. Like,
Okay.
You've managed to get a bird's eye view of this sea and where you are on it and the direction you're going. And if you keep on this, you're going to land on the coast in the middle of nowhere, a couple hundred miles off from where you want to be.
We're gonna hit the edge of the ring.
14.
With a 14, you might have drifted a little bit off course. It's probably Kai's fault.
I was never blamed. I wouldn't blame it. That's not me.
But deep in your head, you're like, I know I didn't fuck it up.
Right. But I'm not going to say that out loud.
Yeah.
Like we may have strayed a bit. Maybe the water pushed us, or I could have been off a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, the Bert is right. I had a little bit starboard.
So Kiki, roll me a sleight of hand with disadvantage to adjust the sails accordingly, and Kai, roll me an intelligence at disadvantage for the rudder.
14 and a 5, but I don't roll under a 10 for sleight of hand.
so that's what, a 22?
Yeah.
I don't care. Wait, why is Kai at the tiller?
What?
Kai's intelligence is a -1, you guys. And
I already have a job.
he planned this.
We don't know that his intelligence is -1, and I've only met this group. As far as I know, he's the second smartest in the group. Bert, Kai, Zerf, and Kiki are tied.
I actually think that Kiki is, stat-wise, is the highest
I have
intelligence.
4, yeah.
Yeah,
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's crazy smart.
Fucking idiots.
The only thing I've seen
Kiki just doesn't. Kiki just doesn't care. Like,
no, yeah, I don't.
like Kiki could recall the history, but she doesn't care to.
No, I don't pay attention enough to care.
That's like every best friend I've had through high school and stuff. They're always the smart guy who doesn't do squat.
I have other things to do.
Why do you think we have a small boat?
I just assumed you knew that that's the only thing we could sail. You're all monkey. That's one level down from being a cleric.
So, Will, you can go ahead and make another wisdom check at disadvantage to see if you're on the correct course.
Knowing that somebody was off, I'm gonna give myself guidance again. Damn, natural 1.
Oof.
Oh my goodness.
I changed the dice and everything. I'm still pretty sure this is the correct one, but
no. And I
go.
disregard everybody, and I go up to the wheel and I turn it.
All right,
And I
roll me an intelligence check.
I've been drinking.
Get away from the wheel.
14.
I'm fighting for it.
We're just not making that 15 DC.
No, I think that it's. I'm thinking I should probably have you do disadvantage.
Oh shoot! You did say disadvantage. Okay. 13.
Okay. So Bert comes over. He's like, you didn't adjust it enough, and sort of angles it more to the starboard.
I'm fighting him.
After another hour or so, you come across some merfolk in the water, sort of waving at you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We're merfolk. No.
Seeing that they're merfolk, I switch my holy symbol to place the trident holy symbol that I stole on me.
They're like, you're far off of the normal trade routes. No, they wouldn't be here if you were. So no, they'll say, sailing the north-south trade route, huh?
Aye, heading to Bezos.
Well, we're not familiar with the land geography, but I think that you're on the wrong course then, friends.
He slap his arms like, told you.
How would you know if you don't know the land topography?
Well, if we meet people here on this current and this wind, they're going north-south. They're heading south to... Oh, shit. Caleb, learn to prepare.
We didn't even think there'd be a boat in this one, so I
I thought we were going to walk on water the whole way.
just keep casting.
Amy can do it.
That's right.
What?
Do you have a ring?
I
Yeah.
thought we got rid of that. Or do I still have that?
I
No,
think
I
you
got rid of
still
the
have-
bracers. Yes, I could still walk them.
Put us in a little dinghy, and then you tow us along. Or put it on the bear, the owlbear, and then we just ride him across the sea.
Yeah, they tell you that this is the trade route from this is the trade route to Sinop on the southern coast, and that they only ever meet people sailing from Kaffa to Sinop here, not Kaffa to Bezos.
Oh, well.
I thought we were looking for Zewataneo.
Get busy living or get busy dying. Well, you don't know the name of the town, but the one we're looking for is big ancient city, green, lush.
No, we
Real
know
populous.
we know Bezos. We just
Okay, all right.
we don't know the geography, but we never here where we are in the sea. We never meet people going to Bezos here. People are going to Kaffa or Sinop from here. We meet people farther west going between Kaffa and Bezos.
Well, they could point us in the right direction. We'd really appreciate it.
You know how to sail one of these? Maybe you could help us out.
So
You
I
guys
got
are
a few
merfolk.
coin or some ale.
oh, that's our word. No,
That's our word.
I was just curious if, how do you have sex?
the usual way.
No.
Yeah, he nuts in the water and the girl swims through it. That's it.
Is it like seahorses?
They kind of look at you funny, and they're like, "No, of course that's not how it happens. The eggs are laid in a secure place, and then the sperm are dropped on top of them."
That's nasty.
So you do
You
pull
you
out.
directly exchange bodily fluids. Who's nasty here?
Dirty hippies.
So what do you want to climb on board and give us a little tutorial on how to run this ship?
You seem to be experiencing some disadvantage at rolling this boat.
Oh, that was meta. Amy, high or low?
Hi.
Let me just look something up here before I say it.
How bad I fucked it up.
No, I just don't want to. I don't want to do something funny, and then it turns out that that's not how merfolk actually are. And if you were a good dungeon master, you would have known that before you said that. Yeah. So when you're like, hey, why don't one of you climb up here and show us how to sail? A couple of them, almost in unison, unspoken agreement, dive so that their heads are below the water, and their tails, that are fish tails, are just sort of waving in the air at you. And the
We
third
just
one's
get the
like,
word?
a little hard to climb on up there for us. We're not suited for the land.
Do we have a barrel on board?
Do we have a barrel
And
and a dolly?
and he kind of he hears that and he's like, "No, we don't know how to sail. We don't have to. We breathe water. We swim. We live on the ocean floor. We've never had a need for boats. We've never learned how to sail."
Okay,
All right.
most
Well,
of that
if you
compliment that I made.
If you could just maybe like swim in front of us for a while in the right direction, that would help us out a lot.
We don't know.
Or just point us. I mean, that would be fine too.
Wait, why are you here if you're not gonna help?
We're here to sell
What?
oysters and pearls and
You got oysters?
Nobody wants any. Oh, do you guys want some herbs?
How about some pelts? You
I
want
have. I have herbs.
like what sort of herbs?
I don't. Magic herbs.
Poison herbs.
Roll me a deception.
18 plus 8.
Oh, that's excellent. Bring them down to the water. Do you have a water case or waterproof packaging for them?
Sure do.
God.
Another deception.
Yeah, I mean she can't roll below a 10, so
10,
plus
8.
it's 18. Oh, actually, they kind of give you this. They're like that pouch is not watertight. We can't take that with us.
But it has.
It's not for taking with you. It's for smoking in front of me. I don't know. Are you cops?
We're we're merchants. We buy and sell.
Are you guys cops? Is that what's going on?
You have to tell me if you're cops.
Tell me.
What are you talking about? Will, give me a high or low.
Rapid fire lying.
High. So high based off of the joke.
So as it happens, one of them does know where Bezos is.
Oh, do you guys have like laminated maps or anything?
We get a map.
Wouldn't they be like chiseled into coral or something?
I don't know what their world is.
I feel like lamination is not impossible.
Can they write?
Do you guys understand language? I'm sorry. God, I'm not even drunk.
And they disappear.
Well, then you're behind.
All but one of them flip you the finger and swim off. And the last one goes, "Look, next time you guys are in a bind and people show up who might be able to help you, maybe don't be flaming assholes."
We're
And
just having fun.
and he goes, he's like, but
What's the flaming joke for? What? What's that mean?
Blaming.
He's like, but you guys are clearly in a bind. I'm in a situation to help you out, so I'll go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
And he kind of like he sort of guides Kai to get the rudder pointed in the right direction, so you guys are in the right heading, and then he kind of like locks the rudder in place. He's like, now if you guys catch other currents or other winds, you might blow a little off course, so you do need to try to navigate correctly. But at least you're going in generally the right direction now.
Do you happen to sell a compass as a merchant?
The compass wouldn't work.
Mm.
Sextant?
You're not
we don't know how to use it.
you're not on a planet with a magnetic north. You're technically not even experiencing normal gravity. You're experiencing centrifugal force holding you to the outside of the ring.
Well,
But I don't know that it feels like gravity. I was born here.
Yeah, but you would have also, since you're born here, you also would know that compasses aren't a thing. They don't exist.
Okay. Compasses don't exist. I knew that. I
you
knew
can
that.
see north and south, right? Like up ring, down ring, all that shit.
Yeah,
Because you can see it like disappearing into the distance.
yeah. So you can orient. They do spinward, counter spin, and then starboard and port. Based on, but for our purposes, it's easier to just say north, south, east, west.
Okay. Because I mean, I would forget to.
All right. I offer him a gold coin worth of oysters for his help.
What?
I offer him a gold coin.
But then you said worth of oysters. Like, are
Because
you?
I still want his oysters.
Okay, so you're trying to trade for oysters. Okay,
Yeah.
but you're
I'm
giving him.
offering him business.
Okay, not
Because he
just a
helped
tip.
Not just a tip. He helped us. Here's some business.
A tip, not the tip.
I didn't
Listeners,
say that, but all right.
you said it quickly enough that it could.
I'm not offering him the tip.
I
I
felt
don't
the
do
need to
fishes.
intervene there.
I'm not a fishophiliac. I don't know what that is.
Well, it's
Awkward,
Greek.
degenerate. I don't know.
It
I
would
don't
be
know.
Greek, so it wouldn't be Pesh. Oh, I'm not sure. Now I just
I'm gonna
thought,
look this up now.
does Joe Pesci's last name imply that his family were fisher people?
I would not have thought of that.
Christ.
No, it's just Italian. L'Italiano.
Latin.
Pesci is fish.
Oh. Well, I learned something tonight. How dare you?
Why is it I can never find
Tabs.
the equipment? I know.
It's Angleophilia.
Huh.
Anglophilia.
Is that the love or the fear?
That's the love.
White people?
That's
Philia-
wanting to have
Philia is lust after, yeah.
Yeah.
Anglophilia.
I would have thought that'd be like...
No, Anglophilia is
What the
love
fear
of
of white
England.
people?
Yeah.
Not Anglo, like A in like angler.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. That's what it says here. So
So we're fish?
no, that means you want to have relations with fish. You enjoy their company.
You want to know fish in the biblical sense.
Wow, we are so off topic at this point.
Well,
Welcome to D&D.
I'm looking up.
Sleep with the fishes.
It's a whole new meaning.
I'm not worried about how many how many oysters I get, if that's what you're
Well,
looking
I
up.
want it to be. I just want to get an idea. I'm surprised they don't have like.
All right, fine. It's just a tip then. I don't want the oysters.
No, you're getting some fucking oysters. This is at this point. I'm my own curiosity.
I would assume you just said like you have some oysters. Because what am I going to use them for?
You have some oysters, but I'm curious, like, if they're selling a lot of oysters, I want to know how good are they living down at the
You
bottom of the
derailed
sea.
it. Way to go.
And now while
considering
we're
the
on the
meat base
topic,
thing,
why do
you
these
have
guys
oyster.
need? Why do these guys need gold? They're not interested in your gold. They're a barter system.
I don't have anything to offer them other than ale, and I can't give that to them.
Well, then you're not getting any oysters.
I got
All right, then I want no
5
damn oysters.
Oh, shit.
I was just trying to be nice. They were helping out. I wanted to be nice since we were
And they're
flaming
very-
assholes.
They're polite about it. The remaining one is polite about it. Of like, we don't
Except that he
actually.
called us a flaming asshole.
Now about the not taking your gold, he's being polite.
Oh, okay.
He's
Gotcha.
explaining to you that there's no use for gold at the bottom of the sea. That they trade.
They're only on trade, huh?
They melted
So
down.
I apologize for our rudeness in the past, and thank him
I
for his
apologize
assistance.
for nothing.
David, what did you say they melted down for?
I didn't.
They melted down and make tridents or trinkets, whatever.
Trinkets of plenty. They've got
Trade
gizzards,
with
and watsits,
The
pillows.
land folk, right? Land folk love gold.
Yeah, but then they have to haul it back up. Gold's heavy.
Coins.
Look, we just
I mean,
did.
according to my character sheet, nothing.
We just did some communal world building there about the merfolk in this world, at least on this plate in this particular sea.
I apologize, merman. I don't know your name. Sorry. I offered you a prayer based off of the deity Mercury. Thank you for your assistance.
He's like, "Good luck, guys,"
Swim away, swim away.
and he takes that advice and does so. Kiki's fed up with the stalling and wants to get the story on the road.
Oh my god.
I see if I can hook them.
Be more exposition.
Do I notice the monk trying to hook the fish, man?
Kai, roll me I don't even fucking know, a dex check.
Kai, I don't know we can eat him.
You can eat anything.
Might be a little gamey.
Gamey, you mean fishy?
$19.
Are you proficient in dex saves?
Yes.
Okay, so subtract, because it's just, well, I guess it's the same. Because because I just want the flat dex without your proficiency bonus.
Sorry. It's
No.
minus,
Mm-mm.
it's -4.
You rolled a natural 20 on that second
So
roll,
15.
folks.
Okay.
The first one would be 15.
Okay. No, it'd be 14.
Oh yeah. First, yeah.
Anyways.
No,
He does not bite the line that you throw out, and you aren't able to latch it
I was
onto his
trying to
sails, on his scales. And I wish that there was some sort of gesture that he could do that you would see.
Have you ever seen Friends? They do the fist. They bump their fists together.
But you-
That's it.
But you
He
can't see that.
splashes. He splashes the waves twice with his fin. That means F off.
But he's like way down below the surface now.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. And we all know.
Bert has another vision and lets us know.
Yeah, listeners, when you heard that there was going to be an adventure on the high seas, you
Oh,
didn't think it was going to be passive-aggressive exchanges with merfolk.
What did you expect?
Okay, so let's get all of your navigation checks one more time.
Shit.
yay.
At disadvantage still?
Yep.
16 and a 2, but I don't roll under a 10, so a 10 plus 12.
16 on my wisdom navigation.
Okay.
Am I at the helm? Is that what happened?
Did we switch? Yeah.
It looks
I mean, I
like
fucked
it
up
looks
before.
it looks
The other
like Kai
can't
is
do it.
Kai. It looks like Kai is insisting on steering.
I would
you
like
can
to
fight him for it.
Assuming that I believe that Kai is at fault for getting us in the wrong direction and not myself, I would like to interfere nonchalantly and allow Bert to grab the helm.
Okay, Bert, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check at disadvantage. Because
what
'cause-
save is it?
it's intelligence check. Because Will, you can see immediately that he's like steering you off the course. Like you still remember where the mermaid pointed to, and Kai is already turning you off from it.
I want to be like sly about it and be like, whoa, why don't you share a drink with me, monk? We should talk religion. Or
Gambling. Go gamble with it.
what do monks do?
I'm tying
Gamble.
my arm to the rudder.
I start throwing gold
This is just gonna be
coins
like
off-
a slap fight
Didn't the fish though lock the rudder? So what do we need to steer for?
Oh, that's a good point. So it is just in the sails and the navigation now. So yeah.
Because really,
Okay.
it
So
doesn't matter how much.
Kai's trying to move the rudder, and you know what? He's strong enough. He might actually break the
Oh,
lock.
Jesus.
Oh crap!
I start throwing gold coins off in the corner to distract Kai.
I also run over to the corner.
So there are a few questions here that all hinge on Kai. Does he get distracted by the gold coins? And how exuberant is he in his steering?
Fuck this. I'm putting him down. Get the fuck off the wheel!
Kai just screams and just goes crazy.
And he gets all that gorilla strength and he tears the wheel.
I'm still throwing coins.
Yeah, roll me a strength check, Kai.
Sorry.
Oh, thank God.
5.
So you flail, but your arm isn't like really breaking. It's not breaking the rudder. It's not breaking the lock on it. Okay, so in the interest of making a long story short,
Too late.
thank you.
Railroad.
You guys continue on that heading for several more days. Actually, probably about a week and a half. It's a pretty big sea.
Cool. So we're healed then, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
And Zerf is still asleep.
I'm a little annoyed though because after about 2 days, I ran out of booze.
Did you prepare create water?
Oh, I do have create water. Yes.
Okay, so you guys don't have to worry about dying of thirst. And but you are starting to like run low on food, unless one of you is an outlander.
I've been fishing.
Well, the question is, how successful have you been at fishing?
I don't know.
I have brewer's tools. I'm not out of ale. I brew the water into ale.
I mean, I'm not saying you guys are starving, but you're really happy to see cliffs ahead of you, even if you're not on track. Like there are cliffs. You've made it to land.
See how successful I've been.
Claim all of it, man.
This man.
Am I not your savior?
I've cut a tiny flounder.
One the entire trip.
One.
Because he doesn't.
Ate it from the line.
He either doesn't have the patience, so he's constantly reeling in, or he forgets about it, and then the line snaps while he's off staring at clouds or something. The weather has been a little chilly, but otherwise fair. No precipitation and strong winds the entire trip.
I use the herbs that I got and start dry rubbing Zerf with them. Just saying, there's lots of meat right here.
Lean meat, too.
He has so much wonderful flesh.
That's pretty dirty meat, though.
It's
That's what fire's
still,
for.
On a boat.
You wouldn't object.
David, high or low?
No, I wouldn't. Low.
Okay. By chance, it seems you guys have, well, maybe not by chance, by skill and the help of a merman, you've managed to hit pretty much exactly where you need to hit. And you see in this sort of cliff wall rising up out of the ocean ahead of you, there's a cleft in it, as if, like a giant or someone just smashed a break in it. And it's a narrow strait that's only maybe 5 miles wide. And as you pass through it, you see a whole bunch of other ships coming and going from other places down the coast. And you realize that you're probably going to need to maneuver to get into queue and get through this passage without a collision. So,
Did he rig that up with like a slip knot that we could pull free from? Are we?
roll an intelligence check. Looking at it, whoever is interested in this.
Are we at disadvantage again?
roll...
No, this is just a straight up mechanical thing.
Oh, I can't tell. I got like a 4.
Let's see what it throws. 12. Not me.
16.
13.
Kai looks at it and he realizes that it's pretty simple. He gets a stick and he knocks it loose, and then the rudder turns freely again.
Oh, good job.
So, it's going to be between Kiki and Kai to maneuver through this strait without colliding with the walls of it or any other ships.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
So it's your sleight of hand, Kiki. The disadvantage doesn't matter because you're not going to roll below a 10. Oh, I guess you could roll a 1.
Oh, yeah.
Keep rolling them twos.
Uh,
But Kai rolled a 1.
okay. So Kiki, roll me another sleight of hand at disadvantage.
You make a 180 turn and go back out to
11 and a 12, so 20.
23. Okay, so you're getting the sail all. You're getting the hang of sailing at this point, to the point where I'm actually going to give you tool proficiencies in waterborne vehicles after this is done.
Ooh.
Not so much Kai. So you get the sail squared away to carry you straight into the channel, and Kai, he doesn't realize what you're doing, and he thinks you're setting it up to aim into the wall, so he tries to fix your mistake and steers so that it's going to collide with another ship, just ahead of you. And you rapidly tie off more ropes and adjust the sail to just barely miss it, to basically cancel out the way he's got the rudder going. You kind of you do the ocean version of a drift into line, so your boat is actually going along kind of sideways and it's listing really bad. And then I'm sure you can get over there and correct the rudder. You travel through this channel for another day or so, and along the cliff tops you can see every few miles there seems to be this, not every few miles, but where you first entered the straits, and then sort of about halfway through, you see these massive bridges arching above the cliff tops above you. They're probably a couple 100 feet up above. I don't know if you guys have seen the Royal Gorge, but think that sort of height, but also a couple miles wide. And these bridges just sort of leap over this chasm. After a day or so, the cliff walls kind of recede down into sort of rolling hills on either side of the sea, and to your left, there's a wide river that opens up into the channel, and straddling both sides of the river, built on these hills, you see the biggest city you've seen since coming to this plate. Sorry. There are massive domed temples with minarets surrounding them. There are several palace complexes that you can see. all over there are houses and villas and looks like shops and estates. And it looks like there are sections of the city that are very orderly laid out in like a grid, and then there are places where it's allowed to grow more chaotic, mainly on the side of on the east side of the river. The river flows in from the north. You see that there are towers sort of guarding the mouth of the river. They have a harbor chain that's it's not raised right now, but you can see that these are chain towers. And you see that there are also several harbors that aren't on the river too that are also protected by their own chains, and also by the walls above. As where it meets the ocean, there are these tiers of walls sort of looking over the harbor. So even if an invader were to try to take the harbor, they'd have to deal with bombardment from above. And sort of out on the point, sort of watching over the whole shebang, is a massive palace complex with a tall tower that just arcs seemingly impossibly high into the sky for its construction. And that is your first glimpse of the city of Bezos. As you guys follow the river into a place to dock, we'll go ahead and cut it for this session. Until next, well, I guess, do you guys have any questions or comments? All right.
Wow.
Thank you.
How much about Bezos do I know of since I'm actually from this ring? I'm assuming.
You know quite a bit about it. It is the largest city of the sort of the great cities, and I'd have to go back to an old episode to remember exactly how many of these great cities there are.
Would I have ever been here before?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because Kaffa is sort of a rough and tumble frontier town that is a relatively recent boom town, and Bezos is ancient. It's the center of learning and religion for this sort of section of the world. There are a few rivals for it, namely Ctesiphon and Damash, which are farther south and more landlocked. Bezos it's well situated on reliable trade routes. It's got a lot of water for this plate, so it's able to keep its population well fed for relatively cheap. It's able to withstand sieges. And it's got a relatively stable government, so it's able to keep a lot of continuity in its affairs. As for whether your character would have traveled here or whether he preferred the more rough and tumble life up in Kaffa, is sort of up to you.
As somebody draws waves on the boat, Amy.
What?
It's either Amy or David at any given point.
What?
I half assumed it was Kiki, but I guess maybe it was.
No, I was just trying to think of ways to destroy this city.
It'll come to us. It'll just happen.
I'm going to assume that I probably had to do my cleric learning in a place like Bezos.
David,
so
if it makes you feel any better, it took about 1,000 to 1,200 years for the city that this is based on to fall in real life.
Okay.
So you're not the only one. So what were you gonna ask?
Oh, I said I assumed that I would in Bezos, I would have to learn like my cleric skills somewhere, or like pay homage to in a place like Bezos, right? To become a cleric.
Well, I mean, there were temples in Kaffa, so it sort of depends on what you want your character's backstory to be. If you want him to have come
I like the rough and tumble, hence why I'm always drunk.
So it could have been that he was out there getting drunk and he got a calling from one of the temples out there. But whatever deity he follows, Bezos has a temple for it.
Sweet. So I will be searching for that temple.
Okay. before we do that, I don't remember who has what, but I know that if you want to listen to other episodes of our podcast, you can find us at soundcloud.com/cndnd or on the podcast delivery service of your choice as the Chaotic Neutral Podcast. So you can just go into iTunes Store under podcasts, search for Chaotic Neutral, and we'll show up. David.
And
Oh, go ahead, Shane.
I was going to say, if you're so inclined, you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/cndnd.
Okay. Amy.
Twitter.
You can also
Nope.
go. What?
This is just such a shit show. So we're gonna do David next because he has his Twitter.
Or at Twitter at CNDcast.
Okay. Now the Instagram.
Chaotic Neutral D&D is our Instagram.
And finally, Will has our Twitch, right?
You can also find us on twitch.tv/chaoticneutral.dnd.
No dot. Just Chaotic Neutral D&D.
Oh,
All one word.
maybe that's why I didn't find it.
that would make it difficult. And I'm thinking so I'm going on winter break soon, so I'm thinking I might stream when I play Overwatch or Dark Souls or whatever. So if you want to watch me do that and hang out, you're welcome to. I'll try to drag whoever else I can find into it as well. What did Zerf usually have? Nothing? Okay.
Did he have... Oh, shoot, I don't know. That's right, you didn't have anything for...
Okay, well...
I don't know. I'm terrible with this newfangled media of socializing garbage.
Yeah, I run our Facebook page. This is a little bit of behind the scenes. I run our Facebook page, which means I mainly neglect it, but technically I set it up and it's there. And I post all of whenever we have a new episode or we have announcements, I post to there. So if you are curious with our sort of news or whatever, it's there. We don't spam your feed, but if we send something, it should be something kind of cool. Anyways, my work, the guy that runs the mechanical engineering Facebook page for the university, retired this last week. And they wanted him, they basically wanted the admin privileges from him. And they're like, he couldn't just give us his username and password so we could do this? I'm like, no, because it's tied to your account. And then you have permissions, but you don't, the page itself doesn't exist as its own account. And they could not wrap their heads around that. And I was like, I mean, I can't tell you anything more because, Amy's our social media person and she doesn't do anything with the social media. So
Fuck you!
okay. So on that note, we're going to go and call this episode. Amy, is anyone watching on Twitch right now?
No!
Okay, then I won't worry
It's
about
not loading up. It says error loading when I search Twitch.
Well, it sucks to be you.
What? You know what? Bite me.
Twitch.tv/chaotic neutral D&D.
Oh wait, there it went. Never mind. There it is. There's all blue waves.
Well, no, you can't
Okay.
see because Caleb's turn order. You need to get rid of the turn order. I'm drawing a picture.
It's a lovely fishtail.
You son of a bitch.
Nobody can see it.
And if you really like these sorts of banters and shenanigans, make sure you listen to all of our other episodes. We've got well over 100, so you can burn weeks listening to us.
So sorry.
Look at the scale.
That's some detailed work right there. Okay, so we're going to call it a session. I'm going to delete all these drawings, and we will catch you all later. Until next time, keep it chaotic.
Bye-bye.